Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about how to attract girls without trying. Okay, so let's get into the first point that I want to make about this, and that is to not be girl crazy, to not be really focused on trying to get laid, trying to get into a relationship, because a lot of women can sort of sense if a man is desperate for love, for romance, to find a relationship, or desperate to get laid. Um, and the way that they can sort of sense this is that most of the time they can notice in sort of like little tiny ways that you talk to women and talk to her. They notice your body language and how you look at women. That it's just a very much a one of those things you can't help but radiate if you are really desperate for those things. So the idea then is to rein that in, get some emotional self-control, and to not be as girl crazy. So obviously, if you are girl crazy, and another reason why is that it comes across very teenage boy mentality, like if you are desperate for love, if you're desperate to get laid. It's like one of those things that you often see in perhaps teenage boys at the age of around like 17 or 18. But if you're older than that, yeah, if you're a guy watching this, then who's much older than that, you're not a teenager anymore, then if you still have that trait and you're still really desperate for love, still really desperate for, sex and all these different kinds of things that you may receive from women, then it's going to show, right? And it's going to put women off of you, which is why, you may have not had much success. Let's say you've never had that much success. You didn't have much success when you were a teenager, and you didn't have much success when you were in your 20s, and perhaps you've even kept that sort of energy going into your 30s, this sort of desperateness for women and stuff. Now, I'm not saying that is you, but it could be some men who are watching this video. But as you can see, that's why a lot of teenage boys don't actually get laid when they're in their teenage years, and why you'll find that most men don't actually lose their virginity until they're in their 20s, because they grow out of that teenage boy mentality and they now act more grown up, and they're not as desperate anymore, even though maybe they're still a virgin. They've just learned to tone it down a bit basically, and then therefore then it's much easier for those guys to then get laid and to lose their virginity. Okay, so this is why you'll see that a lot of women tend to date older men. You don't really often see women dating down that much, right? And dating guys who are sort of like desperate, right, for that connection. They date men who are older because they're no longer as desperate for romance and for love, and they have developed this sense that women don't really like that kind of behavior. They don't like guys that are just like super, super horny and just want to get laid, or they're overly romantic and thinking they have to say all these different things to get women. They've caught on to that. They need to be genuine, and they just need to sort of relax and tone it down. And they don't need to do anything or prove themselves in any kind of way to attract women. Okay, and that's how you can now develop that sense too, because obviously this video is about how to attract girls without trying. Well, a lot of older guys can do that. They can attract women without trying because they've developed this sense of, this is just how I gotta be. I can't be desperate for love. I can't be desperate for women. I can't be desperate to get laid because it makes me look immature. And that's why women date older men, because they're more mature in that way. They've got more sexual and emotional IQ at that stage, okay? So what I would suggest that you do then, because if you're struggling with that, if you're struggling with becoming less girl crazy, then what I would suggest you do is take a year from dating, take a year from seeking out women. Just take a year off and just focus on something entirely different, okay? Because one of the reasons why you might be feeling desperate for love and you may be chasing a lot of women down and things like that is because perhaps you've got some self-esteem issues going on, okay? So one of the ways that you can build your self-esteem is, I believe, to do something difficult for a year. Prove to yourself that you're a badass, yeah? Find a task, something that you're really passionate about, of course. Perhaps it's going to the gym, perhaps you want to write a book, perhaps you want to commit to doing something every day. Maybe it's writing a blog post, maybe it's, I don't know, creating something in some shape or form. Whatever it is for you, whatever inspires you, just do something hard for a year. Something difficult, something that's going to stretch you past your comfort zone, okay? So you can just prove to yourself, not to anyone else. You're not doing this to attract women. You're not doing this to, get more people to like you, to get more women to like you, to hopefully get laid one day. You're doing this to prove to yourself that you're awesome, okay? And when you realize that, okay, I've done a year of doing this really difficult task, and perhaps you executed it really well, and you've just really tried really hard every single day to make this happen, to do this difficult thing, then you'll see that you've got a lot in you. You've got a lot in you to give, okay? And that then makes you feel a lot better about yourself, and you realize that, I'm pretty good, I'm awesome, I'm cool, I deserve a woman that loves me, that really wants me. I'm not going to bother chasing women anymore, because I've proved to myself that I'm worthy of love, and I don't have to do anything to prove my worth to anyone now. I've proved it to myself. And that's something that can really help with that. I know it's not related to women, right? But the thing is that often it's these things, the inner work and the inner journey is what builds that confidence. It's not like, I'll get more confidence with women when I've slept with more women, or I'll feel confident when a woman says that she's in love with me, and then I'll feel worth. Because what you're getting then is external validation, okay? You're seeking someone else, in this way a woman, to make you feel better about yourself, to make you feel more attractive. But I can tell you that you don't need to do that. You don't need a woman's validation. You can build that validation within yourself. Okay, because there are still plenty of people out there that, let's say the religious sort, who have promised themselves to stay a virgin until they get married. There's still plenty of people in the world that are like that and that do that. Okay, and there are plenty of men out there that do that. And those people, I actually think that they have a strong self-esteem. They have a strong sense, because they're not insecure about the fact that they haven't been with anyone, that they haven't slept with anyone. They've actually got, a great view on those things, and obviously have a good view on themselves, because obviously temptations are going to be there all the time, right? I'm sure like guys who are deciding to wait until marriage to have sex, have women come on to them, and I bet those women can sense that he is not engaging because he wants to find the right woman before he gets married and sleeps with them. And it's the same for women too, who are in the same boat, who are waiting for marriage, who are religious. I'm sure that a lot of guys have tempted her, but she has that self-worth to just wait. Okay, so you can be a virgin, or you can not have much experience with women and still develop a strong self-esteem. You don't need anything else to make you feel better about yourself. Okay, the only thing that has ever worked, and this has only ever worked for me, if I try and get happiness from watching a TV program or food or whatever it may be, it never works. If it's other people, I can't let my mood be dictated by external things like, I need all these different things to feel happy. You have to build it within yourself. You have to prove to yourself that you're awesome. Okay, you have to build that yourself by doing difficult things, by proving to yourself that you're awesome. Okay, and that's one of the best things that you can do. And then you won't need to attract girls. You won't have to try anymore to think of the clever line, to think of how do I change my appearance? How do I do this? How do I do that? How can I attract more women by doing these different external things or changing aspects of myself? You don't have to do any of that. Okay? The only thing that you may need to change is your self-esteem, because if you're trying to seek this outside validation, then it's more than likely you don't have that much self-esteem. So you attract girls without trying by building your self-esteem, by building your own confidence and not needing them to build your confidence. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com. If you feel like the prices are too expensive and you would prefer to coach yourself, then also on the website, again, the link will be in the description of this video. You can go and read my book, Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams, and you can go and read this book totally for free on my website. You don't have to log in, you don't have to sign up. Just go to the menu on the website and click on the book, and it'll take you straight there to the PDF reader, and you can coach yourself. Now, if you happen to like my coaching videos, if you happen to like the book and you would like to purchase it so you can leave a nice review for me, then I recommend that you go to Amazon. There's a link actually on the page where this is on the website, the book is on the website, that will take you straight to Amazon to buy the physical copy or the Kindle version. The Kindle version is significantly cheaper, but if you do happen to purchase the book, I'll be really indebted to you, and I've really appreciative to you if you could leave a nice review about my coaching or about the book, and that would be very, very helpful. Thank you so much. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.